In today's video, let's talk about the huge upgrade the Steam Machine just got and how Valve just gave us a great update on the reservation system. How's it going? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about Steam hardware. And as usual on the weekend video, well, the Monday video lately, I'm joined by Ray Trevino, host of Xbox Ready, my business partner and co-owner of Ready Media LLC. I'm losing I'm losing it.
It's all right. It's okay. I'm here, guys. I'm excited to talk about Steam Machine. Shift gears for a little bit because there's, I don't know, some truly crazy stuff going on and over on the Xbox side of things. Stuff that I'm excited about, stuff I'm not so excited about. So I'm excited to remove myself from that world for just a little bit and spend some time with you guys.
Before we jump into it, Ray and I do this same video on Xbox Ready every week and they upload at the same time. You're going to want to check this one out because we got a ton of early access to Gears of War E-Day. The new Horde mode is absolutely insane, so you can check out our full review. It's over on his channel. You just got to click on the little green icon underneath this video. But with the intro out of the way, let's talk about this update Valve just gave everyone because there's a lot of clarification in it and they actually hit a huge upgrade for the Steam Machine in like one sentence, and that's honestly what I'm more excited about. But let's talk about the reservation system and the waitlist situation first. So they confirm they're working through the reservation system as fast as they can, and they are confident that if you're on the reservation list, you will get your Steam Machine by the end of the year. I hope they're being conservative there and just like setting a timeline that's way farther out than where they expect to hit, because it seems like every single week more and more people are hitting me up on X or in the comments saying they finally got their email for the Steam Machine. There was a little bit of a controversy because people noticed that people on the wait list, so the beyond 2027 list, that's like, we don't have a Steam Machine reserved for you, but we will when we get through those people. They were getting bumped up and were able to order their own Steam Machines. And it turns out it just has to do with different allocations and different reservation list sizes in other countries. They did confirm that when someone gets moved up from the wait list to the reservation list, they will not leapfrog you in terms of when they're able to order. They have an order all figured out that's like sequential. So like if you're worried about someone from the wait list getting theirs before you, if that happens, it's probably because they're in a different country and the wait and reservation lists are completely different. It's so confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just the idea that, you know, it's like being at a restaurant, right? You're waiting for a table and then someone walks in and immediately gets a table. They're the same party size, same that. So I understand the frustration. And it's also interesting that, you know, for all this talk about, oh, the Steam Machine is too expensive. Oh, who needs a Steam Machine when I can buy, you know, I build my own PC, put Steam OS on it. Seems like a lot of people are on the reservation list. A lot of people are on the wait list. A lot of people, more people than the internet would have led me to believe, waiting to buy a Steam Machine, excited to buy a Steam Machine.
I refuse to support Valve's profiteering. I saw that. I saw someone say that and I was like, come on, man. But yeah, so yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm mad that the price is as high as it is. I want as many Steam Machines possible out there in the world. And obviously, I think it'd be selling a little bit better. Well, it wouldn't in reality. They'd be selling the exact same amount. I think people would be more excited to pick one of these up if it was right around 700 or 750 bucks. So I'm just going to cross my fingers that this RAM crisis kind of ends sooner rather than later and they can even out the price. But until then, you got to deal with the reservation list. And it seems like you're not getting leapfrogged by waitlist peasants.
The thing that I want to know is who's out here and getting a reservation for just the base 512 gig Steam Machine, because everyone that I talk to, I'm like, oh, which one did you end up getting? Like, everyone and their mother probably signed up for all four, right? 512 gig just by itself, the controller, the full terabyte one just by itself with a controller as well. We all did the thing. Like, we all just shotgunned that approach and was like, okay, yeah, whatever is available, that's what we're going to get, right? Who out here has gotten the 512 gig version? Those are finally shipping.
I have never. Bob Wolf from the Wolf Den got that one, and he was doing like multiple videos where he was like, Thanks to everyone who's offering to let me borrow theirs, but like I'm waiting. He finally got it. That was the one that went out last because I'm assuming the least people wanted it.
Every person, or is it the 2 terabyte versus, like I forget the models, but every person that I'm talking to, Jim, people on Discord and my other friends who are also creators, all of them are like, yeah, I got chosen for the 2 terabyte version, like the most expensive ones. Who was getting like the cheaper ones? That's what I want to know.
A few other YouTubers, but yeah, I went 2 terabyte because I don't want to tear this thing apart. But tucked away in this update from Valve was that FSR 4.1 is now available on the Steam machine, and this is awesome. So Ray, I'm sure you've heard me talk about the difference between FSR, DLSS, FSR4, FSR3 over the years. Do you understand the like basic differences between these?
Yes, although I don't know what comes in FSR 4.1. That's a little bit unclear to me.
This is the cool part. So FSR4 looks so much better than FSR3 to the point where using it in performance mode, so like the lowest tier, looks better in a lot of games like Resident Evil, for example, or Halo than running FSR3 at quality. It's that big of an upgrade. The problem is there's a performance hit. So like using FSR3 quality gets you better frames than using FSR4 quality. That's bad. But FSR 4.1 fixed that. It brought the performance back while also giving you the better image quality. So having FSR 4.1, which was only available on 9070 XTs and all the new cards that have RDNA 5 or 4 or something like that before, bringing that down to the Steam machine is awesome. And it's already available. All you have to do is switch whatever game you want to use it in to Proton Experimental. So I checked this out with Halo Campaign Evolved and it just worked. It also works in Resident Evil, works in Space Marine, works in Darktide. So any game that's already natively running FSR3 can get upgraded to 4.1. And now when you use experimental, instead of updating to 4, it'll go all the way up to 4.1, and it's so great. So many people are saying that in games where they were just inching right up close to 60 FPS, now they're well above it while retaining that awesome image quality. I don't know why they didn't make a bigger deal out of this. Probably because it's so confusing to figure out and explain, and it's still in Proton Experimental and you have to do that extra step. I'm assuming that once this goes into regular release Proton, they'll do a bigger post about it, because I just don't think they're getting enough credit, because FSR4 is so good and you can't get it on the base consoles. Like the base console, PS5 and Xbox Series X, most of the time use FSR3 or TSR, and FSR4 gets all the features that PSSR2 gets on the PS5 Pro. So it's like it's a pretty massive upgrade.
Yeah, ideally, these games would ship and run very well and be perfectly optimized without the need for an upscaler. But this is a pretty powerful tool to be added in the toolbox for Steam Machine here, especially since it is in that compact chassis, and there's only so much that they can do in terms of the components. So yeah, having this where you're getting the best of both worlds with FSR 3 and 4, that's a massive win for anyone who has a Steam machine.
So that about covers Valve's update. But for the second news story, I wanted to talk about my friend Felix's app DeckFilter, because it just got a pretty big Steam machine update. He asked me what I wanted, and I was like, I want to know if it's verified on Steam machine. If I'm looking at a game, I'd also like to see the balanced performance and quality settings. He's working on that. But now, through this new update, when you check out any game on DeckFilter, you'll see the verification status for the Steam Deck, you'll see the verification status for the Steam machine, you'll see it for the Steam frame, and you'll see it for general Steam OS. So no matter what device you're using to interact with SteamOS, whether it's a custom-built PC or the Valve-made hardware, you'll now know right away whether or not that game is verified. And Ray, unlike the Steam Deck, the verification system actually is useful on the Steam machine because it takes into account, some more useful metrics, like will the game actually work and how well does it perform? At least 30 FPS,
Not like,
I'm pretty sure is the barrier.
They're like, yeah, the aspect ratio will be fine on this. So there we go, boom, Steam Deck verified, baby.
Is the text readable?
Yeah.
Does it run at 10 FPS? Yes. Can I read the text on the screen, which is very important? Yes, it's verified.
Will the gamepad work? Sure. Yeah.
Dude, Halo Campaign Evolves verified, and I just watched the Digital Foundry video on this, and it has a major CPU problem where it's just hammering it. So they basically have a PC that's equivalent to the Xbox Series X using the exact same settings or as close as you can get because the Series X is running it lower than low. You can't hold 60 FPS. So like, I don't know why the Coalition is so great with freaking Unreal 5 and they don't do anything with Halo Studios to be like, hey guys, you're using the engine that we're really good at using. Here's some help on optimizing. But no, this game came out like 80% done, which really f***ing sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's what was supposed to be happening, right? They made a whole post about all of our studios are working together in tandem. And then, yeah, I don't know what happened with that. So I guess the Coalition's just been really busy on Gears E-Day. They didn't have time to make their way on over to, where is 343? Up in Seattle? Or Washington? I can't remember.
They're all over the world.
Yeah.
Halo Studios did not make this game. You know, outsourcing, really, really cool move by Microsoft. That's a good way to make games, clearly, because that worked out so well for the last 2 generations. If you guys haven't heard of DeckFilter, my friend Felix makes it. It's a one-man show over there. It's a $5 app on iOS and Android. It'll let you find settings. It'll let you filter your wish list. It'll let you just do anything you want to do with Steam. I've talked about it a lot on the channel, and I like that he's adding in these Steam Machine features. But right, something that's come up that's really surprising to me is that people, because the Steam Machine is so small, are kind of treating it like a portable. I've seen people in my comments saying like, oh, I'm a businessman. I go on a lot of business trips, and it's so cool that I can take this little cube with me everywhere I go.
I think I would. I think I would.
Where would you take
honestly? Yeah, that is the question, right? Because, you know, if I'm going to, like, I don't know, back home to see my family, the expectation is obviously I'm going to spend time with my family and not like hole up in the living room and play on my Steam machine all day. But there is something to be said about portability for a living room console, because, you know, it's hard to pack up my Series X in a backpack or my luggage and bring that somewhere. Series S is about the size of a textbook, so that travels very well. So there's something to be said about the utility, you know, being able to bring it with you. I have a lot of friends who live bi-coastally, so they'll spend some time in New York and then they'll travel to LA, and they're gamers as well. So that's something that I know that they would appreciate. However, the difference being a Series S, I bought mine for $250. So if that thing gets busted up, okay, so what? I'm out $250. I still have my Series X. The Steam machine, you know, the base level price of being $1,000, that's a lot. Like, yeah, you got to be way more careful. Although, you know, I'm sure that people have their own systems. They have travel cases and stuff.
Wait, did you say travel case? Did you say travel case?
I did.
That's what this news story is about. JSO, our friends over at JSO, however you want to say it, they've built a hard case for the Steam machine that honestly looks pretty good. It only costs $45, and it'll like house up everything you want to bring with you. So your controller, your power cord, your Steam machine itself, your HDMI. You'll be able to zip it up in this nice little carrying case that I'm looking at on my phone below the camera. That's why I keep looking down. It's got a nice little zipper. It's got a handle. I'm assuming it'll come with like a shoulder strap as well, so you can just box up your Steam machine and take it with you wherever you want. One use case I think this is going to come in clutch for people is fighting game tournaments, because no one likes playing online at fighting game tournaments, and the Steam machine can connect up to 16 different Steam controllers or Bluetooth controllers all at once. So if like you're emulating Smash Bros. Melee or something, you could just throw this thing in the travel case, bring it to the fighting game event, be the hero of the day where you only have one console with all these controllers connected to it. That could be a cool use case.
Yeah, I imagine seeing a lot of this at conventions and stuff. Worth the investment. I know the Steam machine is already expensive, and you know you might be hesitant to drop more cash on accessories for it. Stuff like this is always worth it. Take care of your stuff, guys. Take care of your consoles. Take care of anything that you own, be it tech or the things that you want to keep around for the future. You spent the money to get this thing. Spend the money to protect it.
But to round out the video, let's talk about one important feature that the Steam Machine is missing that would make it even more portable, which is the classic GameCube handle. Do you remember the handle on the GameCube? Did you ever carry it around like an accessory back in the day?
I remember the handle, man. I remember the handle. I did not own a GameCube. A GameCube was strictly for whenever I went over to my friend Matt Swanson's house. That was the realm of the GameCube over there. But I remember seeing the ads at Costco when they were selling the GameCube, and they would have pictures of like people carrying around by the handle, like, oh, it's portable, you could take it anywhere. I remember that clear as day. Fond memories of the handle, even though I never owned a GameCube myself.
Some would say it's a huge missed opportunity to not have it on the Steam Machine, and I would agree, but now it's probably going to happen because Valve released the CAD files for the entire Steam Machine. I opened up the CAD files for the Steam controller in Blender, and it was crazy how much it slowed down my computer trying to flip that thing around. So like, you probably need a pretty decent computer power-wise to even open these in the first place. But the core thing to know here is that if you have the intention of selling whatever accessory you make, you need to talk to Valve first. These were uploaded to the Creative Commons as non-commercial use. So like, they're made for fans who want to make accessories for their Steam Machine to use on their own Steam Machine. You can share the CAD files to 3D print these if you make something and want to share it with the world. But the second you decide you want to start making money on this stuff, get in touch with Valve and everything will be figured out with them.
Yeah, every time I come on this channel, me and Jim talk about like what is honestly these cool things that Valve is doing to empower players to create their own stuff, to customize their own console. And it is smart for them to be like, yeah, and just in case you want to sell stuff, just run it by us, right? We don't want another D-brand situation where the companion cube situation, where you put in all this work, manufacture all these things, only for it to be just struck down by like a Zeus Thunderbolt situation. So yeah, I think it's really cool that they're doing this. I'm curious, could you use these files, Jim, to make like your own chassis almost for the Steam Machine, and then try your damnedest to fill it with like your own parts? Like, people are always saying like, I could build my own Steam Machine.
Yeah, 100%. You can 3D print any piece of the Steam Machine with this. The one thing to know though is that the second you take apart that case, it voids the warranty. So maybe you want to be careful and make sure that, you know, you really want to do whatever it is that you're doing to make a modification to it. But I will say a lot of people voided their Steam Deck warranties trying to switch out the SSD and frying their motherboard with their battery. And Valve was pretty cool about replacing it. So if you genuinely plead your case, there is precedent that they're cool. I wouldn't mess around with it knowing how expensive this is. But yeah, you could 3D print a GameCube handle. You could 3D print a flip-up screen. Like, you could use these CAD files to get the right measurements to figure out how big a flip-up screen would need to be. So this really does open up a lot of possibilities for custom accessory makers out there.
I would say like, yeah, that would have to be the top two things I feel people would rush to make, right? An attachable screen. We were just talking about portability and, you know, this new case. Slap a screen on that bad boy and you're able to just like literally play it wherever you can go. Obviously dependent on a power source, right? And then the handle, that's a no-brainer, right? That's a nostalgia bait. Oh, it's like the GameCube. Like, you can even make your Steam Machine look like a GameCube, probably. Like, there's probably a skin already out there that makes it look like a GameCube. Slap a handle on that bad boy.
My proposition, hear me out, is a little hook or handle to go on the side where you can hang a towel so you can wipe your hands off before you touch it, because I've seen a lot of people sharing pictures and this thing gets greased up super easily.
Yeah.
So you should have like a little like sweat towel hook to put a little towel there and hang it. So before you touch it or move it around, you can wipe your fingers off and not get big fingerprint smudges all over the Steam Machine.
Dude, that's so real. Before I had the cover that I have on my Series X, I would like be picking it up by the corners as much as I can because I just hated smudging that thing. I hated putting my fingerprints all over it. It made it look like shit compared to like just having that nice matte black finish. So honestly, not a bad idea. Or make a hook so where like you can hang some mittens from it. So anytime you have to move it, like you put the mittens on and then you move it and have to deal with it. I don't know.
But yeah, before we wrap up, have you been playing anything cool? I know there's a lot of Xbox games coming out lately.
Well, I got through a playthrough of Campaign Evolved. I played through on Heroic. I burned through it quick. Like, it took me not even 20 hours. It was like 7 hours of playtime. And that's with me replaying a couple of the levels as well. I kind of kicked the hornet's nest with a reel that I posted once the embargo lifted for Campaign Evolved. I was amongst the first people to do any sort of content about this controversial new character that was added to the bonus missions for the game. Her name is Lieutenant Williams, and basically her whole personality is like, I'm like a disgruntled ODST, and I don't think Spartans are shit. I don't think Master Chief's impressive at all. And I made what I thought was a pretty funny video. And a lot of people thought it was funny, but it also kicked off this whole conversation about like, oh, this game is ruined because of this character. And oh no, if you criticize this character, then you just like are set in your ways. You're holding on to like a version of Halo.
You're a
that doesn't
LARPer.
exist anywhere.
You're a Halo LARPer.
I got called a LARPer about 100,000 times because I don't know the lore, and then people came to my defense. It became a whole thing. And you know how I made it, Jim, was that when people started stealing my videos and trying to pass it off as their own, taking away the watermark and taking away any time I was even on camera and just using my footage of this character. So that's how I know I made it. That's what my reel, when I first posted it, got over 2 million views. But I knew that I made it once people started stealing it and posting it on Twitter and stuff. It made the jump to other platforms. So that's what I've been dealing with. In between that, me and Jimmy were playing Gears of War E-Day, the multiplayer preview that they did recently, and that was fucking sick.
Playing Gears E-Day made me want more of that, and I just replayed Gears Reloaded, so I was like, I wonder if anything new has been added to Space Marine 2, and then I go on YouTube, and on my homepage, there's a trailer for the new Confrontation update, and it looks sick, so downloaded that on my Steam machine. And yeah, that's all I got going on. But I got called a LARPer for not liking Evil Dead Burn, which bombed in the box office and has the lowest Rotten Tomatoes of any of the Evil Dead movies. So, we all can't win.
You know that you are right. As long as you're happy with what you did content-wise, that's all that matters.
Yeah, we're just fucking around. It's awesome that Ray got 2 million views. So yeah, you should definitely check out his channel in the description or by clicking the little icon underneath this video. That's entirely dependent on if we remember to set it up right, which is a 50-50 shot, but now that I said it, I'll definitely remember. Anyway, guys, as always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and shape on.